What's up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got a gel swatch review for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos, and let's get started. So today I am coming at you with some more Amazon gel polish reviews. This time we are talking about a brand that I already know and love, Modelones. So I'm partnering up with them for today's video because they just released a massive kit that is exclusively available on Amazon. So we've got this behemoth of a nail polish kit here. We've got 24 gel polishes in here in pretty much every color of the rainbow, and it's actually super affordable. So I'm really excited to share with you guys the swatches of these. Just a couple of quick notes before I get into these swatches. Number one, I am using peel off base coat underneath all of my swatches. I will link the one that I'm using down in the description, which you can also get on Amazon, by the way. Obviously, if you want your gel manicure to last, you should not use peel off base coat. I'm going to be showing you guys the peel off at the end of this video, but these polishes are not peel off polishes, so they will last on your nails for a decently long amount of time. And then thing number two is, since these are gel polishes, I am going to be curing them under a lamp in between each layer. I just use the Modelones lamp that's like this tiny little lamp that's very cute, and I just keep this one on my desk because it's super small and it looks like a computer mouse. I'll link this one as well. I'm not going to be showing you guys me doing it, but just know I am doing that in between each layer. But yeah, let me just show you guys the swatches. I'm really excited about these, so we may as well just get started. So roll footage. All right guys, get comfortable because we've got quite a lot of gels to go over today. I think this actually might be my longest swatch review yet. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. All of these polishes are not named, they're just numbered. So I am going in number order, which is some semblance of rainbow order, you'll see. So this first color is 0003, and it's just a really beautiful creamy off-white color. And as you can see, I'm really kind of taking my time with applying them, and that's one thing that I always mention that I love about gels, is you can always really take your time with application because the gel doesn't dry by air, it only cures under the lamp. So you can take as much time as you need for it to get perfect, literally any amount of time that you need, and you can get yourself a perfect manicure. I was just really impressed with the coverage of this one because it was full coverage in 2 coats, which is really impressive for a light shade like this. Next up we have shade number 21, and I'm just showing you guys like a little sliver of the bottle so you can see each one has the label on it with a hint of what the color is going to be, because as you may know, gel bottles are always opaque so you can't see the color through them because otherwise light would come through and cure the polish and you wouldn't be able to use it. But yeah, so number 21 is actually a really beautiful dusty warm pink shade, and this one is actually really gorgeous. I feel like this is one of those work appropriate shades that I always go on about, but I love a slightly dusty pink in the spring. I think this one is really beautiful, and I love that very warm undertone to it, so it doesn't feel too rosy, it feels very like a blush color. Next up we have number 30, and this one is another kind of blush color, but this one definitely leans more into the peachy nude territory. And as you can see, we're starting off with a lot of neutrals here. As we get into the higher numbers, they are more vibrant rainbow colors, but I really do actually love the selection of shades that are in here because you kind of get the entire rainbow, and it's super inexpensive. So even if you only like to wear super bright colors or only like to wear neutrals, I still think it's pretty worth it just because it's such a low price for so many bottles. But yeah, this one was another 2-coater, looked absolutely gorgeous on. I thought it suited my skin tone really well, but I think this would also go with darker skin tones or lighter skin tones. It just feels like one of those universally flattering shades. Next up we have number 34, and like the last one was very peachy warm undertoned, this one is a nude that is very cool undertones to it. So it's got this slightly dusty, cool toned medium / light brown to it, and again, just a really gorgeous color. You can see how opaque these polishes are, even though I am going in with very thin coats because you should do that with gels. They ended up giving me basically full coverage in the first coat for a lot of these, which I thought was super impressive, and that means it's going to be really good for nail art. But yeah, 2-coat coverage was absolutely gorgeous for this one. Next up we have shade number 46, and this one is a light pink cream that has just a hint of this like salmony color undertone going on to it, which I thought was really cute. This kind of feels like one of those classic shades. Actually, I feel like a lot of the beginning colors just feel like classic any time of year shades that you could really wear anywhere and anytime. So this one was interesting because I felt like I did get full coverage in 2 coats. Like I could get away with doing 2 coats of this one, but there was something about it that I wasn't sure if it gave me the fullest coverage, so I ended up doing 3, and I think that actually looked a lot better. I was able to get a lot more richness of that color in the 3rd coat, so I do recommend 3 coats on this one. If you have shorter nails than me, then you can probably get away with 2, and like I said, I feel like I could get away with 2 as well, but I did think that the color was at its peak in that 3rd coat there, so really enjoyed this one. Very beautiful classic shade, like I said. Next up we have shade number 47, and this one is a super light, almost white baby pink cream shade, and again this one was a little bit more sheer than the others, so I ended up doing 3 coats for full coverage. If I wanted to do slightly thicker coats, I probably could have gotten away with 2, but like I said, I do prefer to do thinner coats when it comes to gel, just because it's a lot easier to cure and it makes the manicure a lot more level and smooth and glossy across the nails. So I always recommend doing thin coats, and then you can just have a 3rd coat on there. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But yeah, it's just another super classic kind of shade. I think it looks really cute on the nails. It's another one of those universally flattering colors, and it's just a really cute staple to have in your collection. I'm sure we all have this color in regular polish version, so I'm happy to have it in gel version as well. It's just really pretty. Next up we have shade 108. So there are actually only 2 gels in this collection that are not creams. This is the first one, and it's again this really soft, very slightly dusty pink shade that has a hint of a silver sparkle running throughout. And I really love this one because I wouldn't even classify it as a shimmer because there's no streakiness, there's no pearlized kind of finish. It's just this little sparkle that kind of runs throughout the manicure, and it just feels really beautiful and delicate, but it also has a little bit of elegance to it. So again, just one of those classic any time of year colors, and I like that added sparkle to give it a little bit of extra interest. Moving into the darker shades, we have 186. As you can see, the label actually made it seem like it was going to be a lot darker than it was, but this one is actually a really beautiful, again, slightly dusty. I know I'm saying that a lot, but when I say dusty, I mean it's just a little bit less saturated than you normally see that kind of color, but this one's like a deeper rosy magenta kind of color, but it's a nice medium tone, so it doesn't actually look too dark on the nails. This is a color that I always associate with fall for whatever reason, but I know it's again like kind of a classic shade that you can really wear anytime. I did get perfect coverage in 2 coats, but again, it was nearly a 1 coater, so I think this would also be really good for nail art. Next up we have 2 deep shades that are actually extremely similar, and there are very subtle differences I'm going to try my best to explain. This one is 248. As you can see, it is a very deep maroon jelly that leans a little bit pink, so you can always tell with jellies what color they kind of lean towards in the first coat because you can see the most vibrance of color and the lightest version of that color in the first coat. So for me, it ended up taking 3 coats to get full coverage. With jellies, the more coats you do, the darker the color is going to be. So you can see on the second coat, it was pretty opaque, but I did want it to be a little bit deeper of a color. So I ended up doing that 3rd coat, and I ended up getting this really beautiful pinky maroon jelly cream kind of shade here. So really beautiful. I love jellies because I feel like you can get more than 1 color out of them just depending on how many coats you do. I just think that's really fun. Ignore the little bubble in the middle there. I didn't even notice that because it is super tiny, but of course you can see everything when I am in a super close-up. Sorry about that. And then we have shade number 249, and this one was extremely similar to 248. As you can see, when the numbers are closer together, they are very close in actual color, but this one I found was a little bit less saturated. Like it still had a tiny bit of that pinky undertone to it, but I felt like it was more of a reddish brown, and this one I actually ended up getting that nice deep coverage in 2 coats, so it was slightly less jelly-like for me. So really interesting to have both options. Don't worry, I am going to be comparing them at the end in my little comparison chart, so you can see a little bit better how the similarities and differences are on this shade and its sister shade. Next up we have the shade 287, and oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful orange cream ever. It is so bright and fun. Originally when I saw the little sticker, I assumed it was going to be one of those kind of fall orange colors where it's just a little deeper and less saturated, but this one is just so bright and fun. You can see the coverage was absolutely incredible on it, like literally one coat full coverage on me. Of course I ended up doing a second coat just to show you guys what that looked like, but man, what an incredible formula. Honestly, the Model 1's formula in general I just really love, which is why I'm really excited about this kit, because it's just so incredibly affordable for so many different colors. So yeah, here it is, 2 coats, absolutely stunning. Next up we have shade 306, and this one is a super soft pastel yellow cream shade, and as you can see from the first coat it was a tiny bit sheer. This is something that I always like to mention with yellow polishes. For whatever reason, it is very difficult to get them to be super opaque shades, so I normally end up doing at least 3 coats for full coverage. Now this one is also a super pale pastel color, which also sometimes tends to be 3 coaters, so it was almost there in the second coat, but I did definitely know that I needed a 3rd coat for this one, and honestly I'm not mad about it. Shades like this are very difficult to get super opaque, so I just really liked the way that it looked in 3 coats. I thought it was really beautiful and soft and springy, and I just love a yellow nail polish anytime, so I like having a good variety of those. And next up we have shade 317, which is another yellow. This time we've got this really bright, vibrant primary yellow going on, and this one actually really surprised me. I thought, just because like I said, yellow polishes tend to be 3 coaters, that this one was also going to be a 3 coater, but I managed to get full coverage in just 2, so I was really into this formula. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. Now keep in mind, I do have pretty short nails, so it might just be because I've got some shorties that you cannot tell how opaque this one is, but if you do have longer nails, you'll probably need a 3rd coat. I was just really impressed with the coverage on my nails. I thought it looked absolutely stunning. So now moving into the greens and teals, I was actually really excited to see that this kit had a really nice offering of these green and blue shades, which I always say there are not enough of in the world. This one is number 364, and it's almost like this bright neon lime green shade, and again, just really impressive coverage. I absolutely thought this was going to be a 3 coater on me, but it ended up being full coverage in 2, and it just looked so vibrant and beautiful, and I definitely wasn't expecting to see such a bright color, especially a green like this in a gel kit, so I was very excited about that. Next up we have the shade 376, which is a really beautiful kind of seafoam green / teal color. You can see there's a little bit of dustiness to it, but oh my gosh, this opacity absolutely blew me away. You can see this is total 1 coat coverage. Again, just a really stunning color, and again, something I really didn't expect to see in a kit like this, because I know not everybody leans towards the green polishes like I do, but we just have such a good selection of colors in this set. It's just really the whole rainbow, and I am just totally happy about it. So here it is in 2 coats, absolutely beautiful polish. I really couldn't get enough of it. And next up we have the shade 378, which is another super bright, almost neon lime green shade, but this one has a little bit of a blue undertone to it. I will say these I did film in number order, and I was a little annoyed that this one was not next to the other neon green, but in my comparison chart at the end I actually put them together so you guys could see a little bit easier what the differences are. But this one is just a little bit darker and deeper, and like I said, it has a little bit of that bluey undertone to it, so it's a little bit cooler of a green. Honestly, I really like both. I wouldn't be able to decide between the 2, so I'm glad that both of them came in the set. Next up we have the shade 394, which is a really beautiful, vibrant, deep teal cream shade, and again, just absolutely incredible coverage. I don't know what it is about these greens and blues specifically, but the coverage was totally incredible on these, and I am very much a newbie when it comes to doing gel nail art. I don't have much experience with it, but combined with the fact that Model 1's formula does feel a lot like nail polish and this crazy opacity, I feel like this kit is going to really lend itself well to doing gel nail art, so I definitely want to do that very soon. Maybe I'll do it on one of my Amazon live streams since this is an Amazon exclusive kit, so stay tuned for that. Next up we have the shade 422, and this one is what I would call a pastel neon because it is a really soft pastel kind of color, but it has that vibrance, like almost eye-searing kind of color payoff to it. So absolutely love this one. The formula was really nice. I think this is a Tiffany blue. I don't know. Every time I say that, you guys are like, no, that's not a Tiffany blue. So apparently I'm very bad at identifying Tiffany blue, but I swear this to me really does look like it. But yeah, full coverage in 2 coats, absolutely gorgeous color. It just feels so bright, perfect for spring and summer, but honestly, I could also see this as a winter shade too. Next up we have the shade 428, which is another really beautiful blue. This one is just a gorgeous, vibrant sky blue. Again, incredible opacity, and this is the type of blue I've really started to gravitate towards with this warmer weather. For some reason, it just makes me think of summer and pools and just having such a bright, vibrant shade on my nail. Even though it's not neon, it just screams summer to me. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah, perfect coverage in 2 coats, absolutely gorgeous color. You know, as with all of the Model 1's shades, it just self-levels really nicely. It's just so easy and workable on the nails, and you can really just take your time making sure that the manicure is perfect. Moving on to shade 434, we have another blue, and this one is a slightly pastel, cool toned blue. Well, I guess all blues are kind of cool toned. And now that I'm saying this, I'm kind of realizing there are a ton of blues in this set as well, and I'm not even sure that I noticed. But after this, we have 2 more blues. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, this one was again incredible coverage. You can see it really covered my entire visible nail in the first coat, but of course I ended up doing a second coat, and I think it looked equally stunning. Just a really beautiful shade. It has just the slightest dustiness to it that almost lends itself to like a periwinkle kind of color, but it is definitively blue. Absolutely gorgeous. Once again, so many blue options here. Oh my gosh, let me show you the next one. Next up we have the shade 441, which is another really vibrant, beautiful sky blue shade. It's so funny because looking at this one, I could have sworn I just reviewed it in 428, but side by side, they're actually so different. So you're gonna probably have to wait until you see the little comparison, which is only in a couple of minutes. But yeah, this one is just so vibrant. It honestly almost has a neon color to it, and it's just so bright and beautiful and opaque and self-leveling, and oh man, just a really gorgeous color. I think I'm going to be wearing a lot of blues this summer for some reason. That is just the vibe that I've been feeling recently. I had a very purple spring, and I think I'm just going to be having a very blue summer, but like a happy blue. And the last of the blues is 444, which is a really beautiful, very slightly dusty, kind of grayed out blue. And this is the kind of shade that I always associate with fall, but looking at it now, there is just a touch, there's like enough vibrance to it that it really does suit spring and summer as well. So, you know, I feel like most blues you can really associate with any time of year because, you know, the sky is blue and it's always there. But yeah, another one that was fully opaque in the first coat, but I ended up doing a second for full coverage, and here it is beautifully cured in those 2 coats. Another really gorgeous shade. I feel like it would be very cool to do nail art with all of the varieties of blue that are in this kit because they all seem to match each other really nicely as well. Next up we have the shade 554, and this is another super light, almost off-white creamy color, whereas the first shade that I reviewed, if you recalled, also sort of a creamy white. That one was more of like a yellowed, creamy, beige, nude kind of color. This one to me just feels like a linen off-white kind of shade, so it was a little bit sheer in the second coat, so I ended up putting on a third. I feel like I could probably get away with doing 2 coats, but I think it looked better in the third coat, and again, just kind of taking my time, making sure that the polish looks really nice before I cured it. And just one of the things that I absolutely love about gels. So if you are nervous about using gels, or if you're a beginner in general, I feel like gels are actually a really great way to go because contrary to popular belief, they don't actually damage your nails, and you can also really take your time making sure that that cuticle area is super perfect before you cure it, so you don't have to worry about it being particularly messy around there. And last but not least, we have shade number 560, and this one is the other non-cream of the collection, and it's a really interesting kind of white frosty glitter polish that ended up giving me full coverage in 2 coats. Now, I did enjoy the way that this one looked. To me, it felt a little wintry, but I feel like you could also kind of throw it on as an accent nail for some of the brighter colors in this set, and that would be really pretty as well. But yeah, I like the way that it looked in 2 coats. I feel like in my swatch video, it kind of looks like the cuticle area is a little bit more bare, but it was just a very reflective color, and it was kind of reflecting my face leaning over my nail. So don't feel like it was patchy, it was just the way that I was sitting. But yeah, just a really pretty color, kind of feels a little wedding-y, so I like that. Woo, okay, so we made it to the final comparison. That was a crazy amount of polishes, wasn't it? But here they all are together, and you can see we have such an incredible range of colors here. We have all of those like neutrals, we have the pinks, we have the more maroon shades, we've got an orange, we've got a couple yellows, and we have just a ton of shades that are in that green-blue range, which makes me so happy because usually nail art kits will just be very heavy in the reds and pinks and neutrals, and then you just get like one blue or green maybe, but this one just makes my green polish loving heart so happy just seeing them all together. And you can see, even though there are a lot of similarities in some of the colors, they're all different enough that it's really nice to have all of them. And because it's in a kit, you don't have to choose between, you know, should I buy this one or this one? You get them all. So yeah, those are all of the gels, and I gotta say, I am really into this collection. I've always loved the Model Ones formula. I feel like it's very beginner friendly. It's really easy to use. I love the ease of using gels because you can just really take your time and it won't dry by air. So you just take your time making it look perfect, and then you cure it, and then it's totally set, which is really awesome. And I feel like Model Ones in general is just super affordable, but this kit in particular I feel like is a very good deal, especially for getting 24 different colors. So I may as well just let you guys know the price now because I am going to be discussing that a little bit. So this kit, like I said, comes with 24 bottles. They're 10 milliliters each, and it retails on Amazon for $29.99 USD. I also do have a discount code, so you can get 15% off with this code right here. It's a stream of letters and numbers, so I'm not going to say it out loud, but you can see it right here. So you're really getting a crazy good deal for this many polishes, and I have to say, I don't think there's one polish in this kit that I was unimpressed with. I thought they were all really good. I love the range of colors. I love that they're not afraid to get into the greens and the blues and the shades that I really gravitate towards, but we also have some really good classics in there as well. And also, I just love creams in general, and I feel like this is a very cream heavy set, so I was really happy to see that. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think of these. If you're planning on picking it up, if you've tried Model Ones before, if you want to try them, let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And that's it, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Kiara, and Kiara wants to know, we know you like to collect nail polish and necklaces. Did you ever collect something else, maybe in your childhood? So, as you guys may know, I am a big collector. I like to collect chokers, I like to collect space-related things, I obviously like to collect nail polishes. I do currently collect a good amount of things. I feel like, actually now that I'm saying this, I feel like I've mentioned it before in a fun fact, but I do collect eyeshadow palettes. I definitely have over 100 by now. I collect enamel pins and I put them on my purse because for some reason I like when my purses are full of pins. I like to collect stationery items because I'm really into bullet journaling. But let me think. When I was younger, obviously I was from the 90s, so I used to collect Beanie Babies. And I also really, when I was a kid, liked collecting those little plastic dinosaurs. That was like my number one thing to play with. I just loved playing with those little plastic dinosaurs. They were incredible. And you could buy like so many different sets of toy dinosaurs. So I was a big fan of that. What else have I collected in my lifetime? Let me think, because I feel like there's definitely some things. I feel like I probably wouldn't even remember the things that I've collected. Oh, one thing I think everybody collects that I tend to collect is when you find a really pretty notebook and you just buy it, even though you have no plans on using it, and then you just have a room full of empty notebooks. That's me. Yeah, I guess that's about it. But yeah, in childhood, I would say the biggest things that I collected were Beanie Babies and plastic toy dinosaurs. Good times. Good times. I wouldn't mind playing with those dinosaurs again. They were pretty cool. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I did use peel off base coat for all of these, so I always like to show you guys me peeling off the gels at the end of the video. Now please do not worry if you are interested in buying these. I promise these gels don't just pop off like this. It is specifically because I used peel off base coat. So yeah, I know you guys like to see it, so enjoy the peeling action. Also, I did just start a couple new tiers on my Patreon, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to my very first Cosmic Admiral, Amanda. So thank you so much, Amanda, for hopping on to the Cosmic Admiral rank. I'm so honored to have you, and I really appreciate your support.